All right, let's talk about a technology that could totally flip the script on how we think about our cars, our homes, our entire energy system, really. It's called vehicle-to-grid, or V2G for short, and it's all about turning millions of electric cars into one giant, connected battery for the whole planet.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Imagine your car isn't just sitting in the driveway, but it's actually helping to power your neighborhood and, get this, earning you money while it just sits there. This isn't some far-off science fiction concept. This is the very real promise of VGG.
So, why is this idea suddenly so important? Well, you see, it all starts with a pretty big problem. Our electrical grid, the whole system that powers, well, everything in our modern lives, it was built for a totally different time, and it is really starting to feel the pressure.
And here's the tricky part. We're adding all these amazing renewable energy sources, like solar and wind, which is great, but their power isn't constant. The sun's not always out, the wind isn't always blowing. This creates these ups and downs that our older grid has a really hard time handling, and that increases the risk of instability.
But this is where the story gets really interesting. The very thing that a lot of people see as just another big drain on the grid, the electric vehicle, it actually turns out to be the key to solving one of its biggest headaches. We have an unexpected hero just waiting in our garages.
Get this. Studies show that for about 95% of its life, the average car is just parked. It's doing nothing. Now, for an electric vehicle, that means you've got this huge, powerful battery just sitting there, totally unused. We're talking about an absolutely immense, untapped resource for storing energy.
Okay, so let's be super clear about what V2G actually is. It's the tech that unlocks all that parked potential. Think of it like creating a two-way street for electricity. It allows power to flow not just into your car, but also from your car's battery back out to the grid whenever it's needed the most. And that difference between one-way and two-way, it's everything. Standard charging, which some people call V1G, is a one-way street. You just pull power from the grid. Simple. But V2G, that's a conversation. Your car can take power in, but it can also send it back out. That bidirectional flow changes the entire game.
And in practice, it's actually way simpler than it sounds. So you plug your car into a special bidirectional charger. Then, a company called an aggregator, think of them like an air traffic controller for energy, sends out a signal when the grid is stressed. Your car then safely sends just a little bit of its stored power back to help out. And the best part? You actually get paid for doing it.
So what you end up with is this incredible win-win-win situation. It's not just one group that benefits here. V2G has some huge advantages for the grid, for you as the car owner, and honestly for the planet as a whole. Let's break that down.
First up, the grid. A whole network of these V2G-ready cars acts like a giant shock absorber. It can soak up extra solar power in the middle of the day and then release it in the evening when everyone gets home and turns on their lights. This smooths out those renewable energy bumps and means we don't have to fire up those really expensive, dirty peaker plants. The whole system just becomes way more stable and efficient.
Okay, so what's in it for you, the owner? This is where your parked car stops being just a car and starts becoming an asset. By selling that stored energy back when it's needed, you can earn actual money, which helps lower the total cost of owning your EV. You're not just a consumer anymore. You become an active part of this new, cleaner energy system.
And finally, the big one, the planet. By making renewables like solar and wind more reliable, V2G directly speeds up our move away from fossil fuels. That means a cleaner grid, lower carbon emissions, and a much more sustainable energy system that's built on resources we, amazingly, already have.
Okay, so if this is all so great, you're probably asking, why isn't every single EV doing this right now? And that's a fair question. Like with any game-changing technology, there are some pretty big hurdles we still have to clear on the road ahead.
These challenges really fall into three big buckets. You've got the technical nuts and bolts we need to figure out, the economic models and government rules we need to build, and, maybe most importantly, we have to earn the trust and acceptance of users like you and me.
So the number one question for a lot of owners is about battery health. Is all this back and forth going to wear out my expensive battery faster? Beyond that, we need universal standards so any car can talk to any charger. We need to make sure it's all secure from cyber threats. The price of these bidirectional chargers needs to come down. And a big one, our grid regulations, which were written for a one-way world, need a major update.
When you get right down to it, no single group can solve this on their own. For this to really work, it has to be a team sport. It's going to take a huge coordinated effort between car companies, power utilities, government regulators, and, yeah, us, the drivers.
But here's the good news. Despite all those challenges, the momentum here is undeniable. We are already moving past those small, early experiments and into the beginning of a completely new way of thinking about energy. The future is definitely bidirectional.
And this isn't some brand new idea that just popped up. The basic concept was proven in university labs way back in the mid-2000s. Through the 2010s, we saw pilot projects pop up all over the world. And today, we're seeing the first real commercial programs and, crucially, getting the standards in place to make it all work together. The next step is a big one: widespread adoption.
The ultimate vision here, the end goal, is a future where our cars are so much more than just a way to get from A to B. They'll be these essential, mobile energy hubs woven right into the fabric of our smart homes and smart cities. And that helps create a stronger, more sustainable grid for everybody.
So it all boils down to this really fundamental shift in thinking. V2G transforms a parked car from what is basically a depreciating liability into a dynamic, valuable asset for the entire community. It's a total rethinking of our relationship with our cars and our energy. Which kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. As this technology gets better and more common, the decision to buy an electric car won't just be about driving anymore. You'll also be asking yourself, is my next driveway going to be my own personal power station?